No warning, no declaration, just radar screens lighting up, and missiles climbing into the sky. Air defenses activate, oil tankers freeze in open water, fighter jets scramble into the night. Half the world wakes up to the same terrifying headline. America and Iran are one step from war. Two nations, 40 years of hatred, thousands of missiles. Because if these two powers ever fight directly, it won't stay between them. Oil stops flowing, markets crash, cities burn, and millions of civilians pay the price. Tonight, we're breaking down how the rivalry between the United States and Iran became one of the most dangerous conflicts on Earth, and how close the world has already come to a war that could change history forever. For decades, the conflict between the United States and Iran hasn't looked like a normal war. There are no battlefields, no formal invasions, no front lines. Instead, it's shadows, cyber attacks, assassinations, sanctions, proxy wars. A silent chess match played across the Middle East. But every so often, the silence breaks, and when it does, the whole world listens. Because this isn't just another regional dispute. This is two powers with missiles, drones, and global influence, standing face to face. To understand how dangerous this rivalry became, we have to go back, before the threats, before the sanctions, before the missiles, back to 1979. The Iran that once cooperated with the United States suddenly changed overnight. A revolution overthrew the Shah. A new Islamic government took control, and America instantly became the enemy. Then came the moment that shocked the world. Iranian students stormed the United States Embassy, Tehran. Dozens of Americans were taken hostage for 444 days, humiliated on global television. From that moment forward, trust was gone, and it never came back. But instead of open fighting, both sides chose something more dangerous: indirect war. Iran began backing armed groups across the region. The US responded with sanctions and military pressure. Everywhere you looked, their fingerprints were there. Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Yemen. Not soldiers fighting soldiers, but proxies fighting proxies, like ghosts pulling strings. Each side denying involvement, each side blaming the other. And every year, tensions rising higher. There's one place that makes this rivalry terrifying: a narrow stretch of water called the Strait of Hormuz. It doesn't look important, just ocean, but nearly a fifth of the world's oil passes through it. If Iran blocks it, fuel prices explode, economies collapse, countries panic. That tiny waterway gives Tehran leverage over the entire planet, and America knows it, which is why US warships patrol there constantly. Destroyers, submarines, fighter jets overhead. One mistake, one miscalculation, one nervous trigger pull, and the shooting starts. Over the years, there were moments when war almost happened. Tankers sabotaged, drones shot down, missiles launched at bases, cyber attacks on infrastructure. Each time, the world held its breath. Each time, leaders stepped back at the last second, because everyone understands one thing: a direct war between these two wouldn't be small. It wouldn't be quick. And it definitely wouldn't stay local. Allies would be pulled in, oil markets would crash, refugees would flood borders, and cities across the Middle East could become battlefields. If fighting ever breaks out for real, it wouldn't look like old wars. It would start with radar jamming, satellite disruption, cyber attacks, shutting down power grids, then cruise missiles, drone swarms, airstrikes, bases targeted in seconds, and civilians caught in between. Not just soldiers, families, children, entire neighborhoods. Because modern war doesn't knock before it enters. It crashes through the door. Even now, years later, the tension hasn't disappeared. Sanctions remain. Threats continue. Military ships still shadow each other at sea. Both sides still preparing, just in case. Because neither trusts the other. And when trust disappears, fear takes its place. Fear leads to weapons. Weapons lead to mistakes. And mistakes lead to wars nobody actually wanted. So when you see a small headline about a drone, or a tanker, or a missile test, it might not seem important. But those tiny sparks are how wars start. Not with announcements, not with speeches, but with one moment where nobody backs down and the world wakes up to sirens. Because sometimes history doesn't explode slowly. Sometimes it happens overnight. And when it does, everyone feels it. This is the story of the rivalry that never truly ended. The standoff that could reshape the world. The war that hasn't happened yet,